3, System 4. Today, Mornings in the Lab, we're talking systems to change your life. Yes, it's the time of the week to get going. It's Friday and the morning loop has begun. Oh my God, I'm just packed with energy this morning. I went for a big run, but most importantly, nation, oh my goodness. Woo! Almost 1,000 of you showed up for the show yesterday, and I just got to pause and say, thank you. Thanks for tuning into the biggest morning show on the planet. We started this little airplane months ago, and we keep just flying through the sky, and we're turning this airplane into a rocket ship. Mornings in the Lab, the only morning show to help you guys get your day started. We drop 8 o'clock Eastern time with myself, Keith, Jon, Marty, producer Kristina Flynn. And hey, by the way, this is an explicit show. Yeah. So if you got kids in the room, you might want to get them out of the room. And if you got your husband in the room, you might want to get him out of the room. Anyways, listen, we got a guest here today, Dr. Monica Rysavy, otherwise known as Dr. Monica. No, we're not calling her Mon today. It's Dr. Monica in the lab. We're talking systems. The systems that changed my life with Dr. Monica Rysavy. I remember my friend up on the stage because I want to talk about yesterday's big show. 880 somewhat thousand, almost 1,000 people showed up for the show yesterday. Kristina Flynn.
Just the tip of the iceberg, baby. It's just the tip of the iceberg, man. This is the shit nobody can see.
Oh, I love it, Jon Andersen. Good morning, brother. Good to see you here today. John's rocking a beautiful black hat with a nice stripe down the middle, nice black glasses, all on black, black on black on black. Old Uncle Keith here is wearing the old black toque. Cool sunglasses. And because I'm wearing camo, you actually don't know what I'm wearing. So I'm actually disguised all below right now. So wearing anything below my head because I'm in camouflage. So there you go. We got Kristina all in black, black, black. Kristina's all in black. And of course, CMartyFit, the handsome CMartyFit today, coming in with the grace.
Is that gray, or I was going to say, is that rouge? I can't quite tell the color. Look at that. What do you got,
I ain't never wore rouge in my life. I don't even know what that is. So it's great.
Man, that's rouge, man. You got to get some rouge going, baby. That's a luxury color right there.
That sound bougie. That sound too.
That's
bougie
a luxury color, bro. That's a Rolex color right there.
There you go.
Okay. All right. Never mind. I changed my mind.
we got Marty all reconfigured here, accepting the fact that he's wearing rouge. Johnny, I don't know how you get rouge out of gray. Like, do you turn?
I'm sitting there. I can't quite tell if there's a slight underlying, color to it. I mean, I can see the gray, but at very first I thought I saw a different color mixed in there. It could be just the fact that my eyes are getting so jacked up. I mean, yesterday I lost my phone twice because I put it on it's a black phone. I put it on a black countertop, and without my glasses, I couldn't see the son of a bitch sitting there. That's crazy. My eyes are changing, man. Holy shit. My eyes can take a whooping by father time, but my body's not.
So you can put chicken breast in your pocket, but not your phone?
Oh!
Be honest, brother. I most days I don't even fucking put pants on and have pockets. I wear my drawers all day long. Sometimes I never even put shoes on.
That's the beautiful. Surprise me.
I mean, literally, I've never ever once have worn a pair of anything with pockets to this show. I got drawers underneath this shirt. That's it. And most days, the gym is just the next building over there. I mean, I don't leave the compound. So why would I put something on with pockets when it's not necessary?
John's one of those guys that trains in the gym in his drawers. But he's not one of those people that we talked about here in the lab a couple weeks ago, Marty and Kristina, that trains in the gym naked. That couple that rents out the gym yes.
No, you know what? I got a funny. I mean, I don't know if it's a fairly long story, but I got a naked. The one time I'm training naked, I'm doing pull-ups.
Hold on,
right?
hold on.
And the fucking pull-up bar breaks off the wall.
Hold on a second here. Did you just say? Hold
Butt
on,
naked.
Marty. Did we hear this correctly? Did Andersen just say when I was doing pull-ups, butt naked?
Butt naked, 100%. Yeah.
You didn't raise that when we brought up the Brazilian naked couple conversation?
Yeah,
You just left that off the table?
You didn't say anything.
Well, it wasn't really applicable. I mean, I was kicking ass.
How is it not
pull-ups.
applicable?
What?
It's
What are you doing today?
What's that? Say, I missed it.
More applicable. What could be more applicable than you actually training naked?
So,
I guess just the fact that in my mind, it just didn't fit at the moment. There are plenty of times in this show where I'm thinking, man, I got some cool shit to say, but I just didn't think it connected at the moment. A lot of times it's a timing thing.
That's ridiculous.
So host Bilous here clearly needs to get out of the way of Andersen here, Marty and Tina, because he apparently has stories, in the drawers or in the pockets in the plastic bags next to the protein that we may want to hear about. So I want to learn.
So here's how it happened. If you want to, I'll lay it out. Okay. So I'm basically doing, I'm in the gym, and I was basically, I'm doing a little workout. The wife's basically, because the gym is connected to the guest house. So she's in there cleaning. I think, well, shit, I'll do a little posing, right? Because I got the mirror set up, I'm a bodybuilder, man. So it's one of those things where I'll do a few pull-ups to get kind of a good pump on. And I'm wearing these shorts that are basically, well, I should say my drawers, they're halfway down to the thigh. I can't really see the upper thigh if I'm getting some good separation. So I drop the drawers. Now I'm butt naked. And so I pose a little bit, and I think I got to get a pump on. So I go over to the pull-up bar, and I start rocking up pull-ups. The goddamn thing breaks off the wall. I am butt naked. Next thing you know, I'm laying on my back with my feet up in the air with a pull-up bar on my chest. Terry hears this massive sound and comes running in there, and she finds me butt naked with the pull-up bar on my chest. She's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" I said, "I don't know. I just found myself on the ground with my feet up in the air, to pull-up bar on my chest. And I took my drawers off about 5 minutes ago. I'm trying to connect all the dots myself."
Terry is a saint. A saint.
Oh, that's the tip of the iceberg. I'm telling you.
I mean, I'm pretty bad, but that's crazy, man. I've never done nothing like that. That's crazy.
Oh, man. I'm suspecting, Marty and Tina, that we're going to have to do a show with Terry. Like, I think we actually have a week with Terry where we put Jon in the corner and we mute him. And it's Mornings in the Lab with Keith, Marty, Tina, and Terry. And it's just a week of Jon Andersen stories. Like,
let's get something straight. She comes rolling out of that bedroom about 10 a.m. You know what time it is right now? 5. So we're going to reach.
It's not happening.
Yeah, I was going to say, we're going to, and she gets up early, and it's got to be a real special occasion. So you're gonna have to put something in front of her to get her butt out of bed this time.
Or you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna start Evenings in the Lab with Terry Andersen, who's gonna tell stories about Jon to set the day up the next day. Oh man, good morning, Enzo. I see you here in the morning tuning in for you.
What up, Zo?
Good to see you, brother. I'm happy to see you here this morning. And we got some. Jon looks at that rock guy from Fantasy. Yeah, he is. It's exactly it. Yeah, good to see you here this morning. Hey, listen, guys, I invite you to subscribe to the channel, like the channel, comment on the channel. We're the only morning show to help you guys get your day started. Mornings in the Lab with Keith and friends. We're all about accountability. We're all about hitting goals. We're all about helping you achieve the biggest, greatest things in your life. And guys, you're here tuning in right now to the morning loop, the first 15 minutes, the unpredictable 15 minutes of the show before we get to the accountability check-in in about 4 minutes. And guys, I found a funny story I wanted to share with you guys here. Just put some laughter on the table this morning. Now, this is a couple days old. I'm going to suspect that Jon knows nothing about it, or Marty or Tina. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But something come up in China recently. And Jimmy, I got the videos here queued here. So let's just put it on stage and show you guys what has recently been unveiled in the lovely place of China on how they're getting people to go to the zoo. So first of all, I'm not a fan of the zoo, but the story was funny as fuck, so I just had to share it with you. Or else was funny, but kind of like, what the hell? So anyway, Jimmy, let's rock and roll, man. Let's put this up here. I get the vertical, and let's check this out, guys. Check this out.
Is that a panda or a dog?
No. No.
A Chinese zoo has sparked fury after it painted dogs black and white and presented them as
Oh
pandas.
my lord.
The zoo attempted to disguise the puppies with black ears, limbs, and with dark circles around their eyes. But visitors became suspicious when the pandas started panting in their enclosure. When quizzed, the zoo admitted that they had dyed 2 chow chows, a type of Spitz dog from northern China with a thick coat.
Wow.
The zoo, however, has denied they misled people, as they never claimed the dogs were pandas, explaining instead they were panda dogs.
Panda dogs in China, nation. So that's what, so if you go to a zoo and the animal doesn't look like the animal, it might not be actually the animal. So if you find yourself looking at a horse, it looks like it's been spray painted like a zebra. It just might be a horse colored like a zebra. Jon Andersen, your thoughts on, when you went to North Korea, Johnny, did you see anybody painted like, or see any animals painted like pandas?
No, definitely not. Definitely not. My first reaction to this is, there's a lot of times as Americans, oh, it was made in China, like we put it down, right? Well, yes. Jesus Christ, they're not just trying to fool us; they're trying to fool their own. So I guess it's okay to feel that way after all, isn't it?
That's crazy.
Oh, Kristina,
that's crazy.
Do they just think people are fucking stupid?
So I will give credit where credit is due to the zoo, but they did have a sign up. It was perhaps not it was in an inconspicuous area that suggested and told the patrons that they were actually panda dogs and they were not real pandas. And then I dug a little further into the story, and they lost the pandas a couple years earlier, so they figured that they had an empty enclosure. They would take a couple chow chows and paint them as pandas and make them as panda dogs.
But that's not a thing.
Well, that sign at least reveals the fact that they're bullshitting you. And if you don't read the sign, I guess it's on you. Now, if they stash that sign someplace we're never going to find it, there's another little bit of deceit, but at least there was a sign somewhere, which is like the one element to this story that makes it, semi understandable when they're being shysters.
No, here's.
I was going to say, maybe times are hard. Maybe business is bad, That's what people do when business is bad. They start scamming and lying and doing anything for a quick buck. So that's the only thing I could think of.
Yeah, it's incredible
because that's not creative.
Just lean in.
That's not creative.
Lean into it, right? Like there's like there's a virality that could be caused from that, of leaning into this idea of like panda dogs, like saying we're not trying to fool you, we're being idiots, and like see and have some fun with that. Like from a PR perspective, there was a much better way to go about this, where they actually could have gotten the same attention without assuming people were idiots.
The fact that we're calling them panda dogs, we're using that term on the show, we're legitimizing this whole idea that there are panda dogs that now exist in the world in China. Take your dog, paint it a different color, and call it whatever you want to call it. And I love watching Marty's expression right now.
But people paint their dogs all the time. People dye their dogs. So
yes.
The fact that they dyed the dogs is not unusual, and it's not like uncouth or anything. So just roll with that.
Yeah. Johnny, have you ever dyed your dog before?
No, not even close. We basically we'll basically put a hat on him. Oh, I'd say him because he's the only one that the boy will accept that the female shakes it right off, and like for Santa. So we'll get some pictures with the hat on. That's about as good as we're going.
So next time you go to a zoo, nation, check the sign, because it might not be what you really think it is. You're looking at a panda, it might be a panda dog. All right. And next time you go to the zoo, you got to keep them accountable. Just keep them accountable to what's truth or what's not truth. Here's the accountability check-in. Johnny's going to go for a break. Marty's going for a break. Tina's going for a break. We're going to come back in a minute with Dr. Monica. We're going to get to know her in the center stage. But hey, let's get into this. Let's get into something that's talking systems here today. And here, I got something for you guys to think about. Let's get this panda off the stage here. All right. You're sabotaging yourself. I'm telling you right now, you are sabotaging yourself. You don't even know it. You're hitting snooze. You're rolling over. You're 9 minutes behind. You're taking a quick look at those social feeds. You look at your email. Oh, man, you're looking at the email you sent 10 minutes ago. You're adding everything to adding. And these little actions, they feel harmless. But nation, little things, they add up. Little things here, little things there, little things here, little things there. They add up. They just continually add up. They can do, and those little things, they rob your time. They rob your time and your energy and your progress. And here's what I've learned. I've learned that in most cases, success, it doesn't get blocked by the big obvious failures. It's the slow drip of the daily autopilot, the choices that add up over time, and how we spend our unintentional time determines our results. You hear Jon Andersen always talking about intention. It's the unintentional time that deserves our results. You heard Seth Kuhn talk about yesterday. We don't have free time. We have time that we have to associate with different responsibilities in life. So think about this, nation. I invite you to think about this as you're thinking about starting your day with a system you may or may not have in place today. You want to make real progress? Do you? Then get up. Get your fucking ass out of bed right now. Don't hit that snooze button. Have unrelenting focus on that audacious goal you have here today. I see you, good time. You're getting up and getting after it today. I see you, Enzo. You're getting up and getting after it today. Audit those daily choices, even the fucking smallest choices. Move it off the list. Minimize that unintentional time. That intentional time is going to rob you of what you deserve. So next time you have a minute to spare, remember, it's not a minute to spare, because every choice, that choice is either helping or it's hurting you. You have the decision right now. Roll over, get up, or roll over and be like everybody else. It's your accountability check-in. A little bit of attitude here today on a Friday. That is it. Who peed in my cereal? Nobody. No, siree. No, siree. I'm a happy guy here today, siree. Hey, we are back with Marty. We're back with Johnny, and we are back with Dr. Monica Rysavy. Dr. Monica, good morning, and welcome to Mornings in the Lab. And I'm going to do this so we had you here for the Creator Spotlight yesterday, and we gave you some of this, and we're going to do it again. Dr. Rysavy. Woo!
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So listen, let's get into knowing who Dr. Rysavy is. So Doctor is a master of scaling systems. She is an expert, Johnny, in custom system design. And I was excited, John, when I knew she was coming on the show today, because I know systems turned your life around, Johnny. So she helps entrepreneurs streamline their operations and grow profitably. She's the former COO of Forte Labs. Marty, she led operations at the productivity powerhouse behind building a second brain. Oh, yeah. We all need second brains, cutting costs and optimizing efficiency. She's the founder of Systematic U. Through her company, she transforms business chaos into scalable, well-organized systems. So if you're an entrepreneur right now, if you're a human looking for systems, this is the show you want to hang out with. And hey, listen, she has dual doctorates. She hasn't been sitting around, boys. And she's a law student. With 2 doctorates and currently pursuing a law degree, oh yeah, Monica just sits around and does nothing. She blends academic insight with practical experience to drive results. And here today, we are excited to bring in Dr. Monica Rysavy into the lab here. Monica, thanks for hanging out with us today. What's going on?
I'm excited to chat with you. I admit, when you were reciting all of my background, it makes me exhausted. And normally I don't feel that way. So thank you.
Hey, well, somebody has to put the good deeds on the show. But you know, this really blends into what John said at the start of the show. Because I'm going to suspect you're doing all this work behind the scenes quietly, just chalking up the wins, right? Chalking up the wins. Johnny, Marty, look at her resume and just win after win after win. And then John, she comes out and then we read it and she's like, oh, I've accomplished all that. John, you can relate to that.
Yeah, 100%. You know, it's, I think when it comes down to when you are on a path that you really enjoy, you want to just continue to look forward. You don't really look back. I look back only to figure out what I did wrong so I don't do it again, or to connect dots so I can understand why things happen. But when you are, I guess you'd say, you're in love, so to speak, you're passionate about moving forward, it makes it a lot easier to do it and be successful.
Yeah, very true. Good morning, Shelly. Good to see you here this morning. Shelly Spence, of course, joining us in the lab. She was here a week ago. Good to have you here. The Mighty G, what is this about? This is a morning show about accountability, about setting and achieving big, hairy, audacious goals. The only morning show for men. We start at 8 o'clock a.m. Eastern time, Monday to Friday here. And we're hanging out with our guest, Dr. Monica Rysavy. And I think I'm doing a pretty good So we're going to call her Dr. Monica because I'm going to stumble to the last part of the name here. So Monica, you've been just pursuing degree after degree after degree. What's been the impetus for that pursuit, Monica?
You know, when I was a kid, I struggled a lot in school. I kind of, I
Oh.
don't want to say I bounced around, but I went from a public school to a private parochial school, a Catholic school when I was younger. Then I went to a public VOTech high school in the United States. We have vocational technical schools where you could pick a trade, so to speak.
Yeah.
And I picked business technology, business computers to do because I liked computers. I had a Tandy 1000 when I was 6, and I used to do Barbie and paint by numbers and stuff like that on it. And I thought it was fun. But school wasn't the easiest for me. And around my junior year of high school, I remember thinking, like, I don't even know if I can go to college. My grades are awful. Like they were not very good. I was excellent at athletics, band, friends, hanging out, not going to class in terms of excelling. And then I had an opportunity to go to college early. I was actually participating as an anchor for a local television show called Homework Television on Comcast Cable. And I loved it. Teleprompter, lights, camera, the whole 9 yards. And then they gave me a free class in college. I went to that. And I remember at the end of that summer, so this is 20 years ago, saying, I don't want to go back to my senior year. Can I just go to college? They looked at me like I was crazy. Like, first of all, I think I had like a 2-point-something GPA. Second of all, it was, I just don't want to go back. And long story short, I convinced the local community college to let me be their first dual enrollment student. And I went to college instead of high school. I went back one day a week to prove I actually went to college, to the high school. And then that's kind of went on from there. And it was systems and processes so I could schedule out degrees. I finished my dual MBAs when I was like 20 or 21 because scheduling things back to back. So I was able to do really well because of systems. So it's been a long time.
No kidding. Marty.
No, that's pretty cool. And, you know, it's crazy how you say you weren't, you know, school wasn't your thing. You weren't that good at school. Guess what? Me, Jon, and Keith weren't that good in school either. So you're with the right people. But, you know, what sticks out to me is like passion. You know, you found something you were passionate about, which you can work hard, you can go hard. So how important is it to, you know, do something you're passionate about? Do something that you know, you want to wake up the next morning and get to it. How important is that?
It's so important because I think for me, now that I think back, I was like, I wonder why I didn't have that passion. I didn't like math for sure. I remember having no passion about statistics. And that carried through to my PhD, I should point out. I think I took and withdrew or dropped out of stats like 3 times and took it the last broker class in my PhD program. But when you're passionate about something and you set that goal, and I think Johnny mentioned this, when you're like laser focused on that goal, that for me is what gets my ADHD brain super laser focused about continuing on that path forward. It's like my dad used to say, the eye is on the prize. And that's something that I've kind of committed to my whole life.
Yeah. Johnny.
Yeah, so true. You know, and I'm the same way. You know, all of the shit that I dealt with in terms of dyslexia, and who knows what letters I should have behind my name in terms of the current, we call it disabilities, but bullshit. They're not disabilities. They're fucking blessings. Because when, like you said, you found something you were passionate about, you hooked up that what now would be called a disability to it, and look what happened.
Yeah.
So
100%.
keep kicking ass, man. That's what it's all about.
Monica, in your journey through school, and you said you received your first computer. Was it a Radio Shack? Because you said Tandy 8000.
Yes, it was a Radio Shack Tandy 1000. My grandfather gave it to me for Christmas. I still remember, especially having the Barbie journal on it, which I promptly lost the password for and kept making new versions.
So I can relate because I had the TRS-80, you know, the Radio Shack TRS-80. So I can somewhat relate to that whole experience of having computers. But it strikes me when you hear that. So take me through that moment where that computer went on, your brain lit up, and something happened inside of you. And you're like, oh, there's something magical here. And I'm going to link this to systems because how computers work. So something triggered inside of you when that computer turned on. Can you go back to that moment, Doctor, when you're like, oh, something magical? Because I got that computer and I remember it unlocked this world of possibilities for me, it seemed like. What about you, Dr. Monica?
And you're taking me back because this was 35 years ago, but I remember trying to get on.
I think you're the kid here on the show when it comes to all of us old men here. So let's not go about taking us back here anymore, Dr. Monica.
Well, you know, age aside, I just remember when you would move the mouse and you clicked stuff, things happened.
Yes.
And I was just really excited to see what was going to happen. Because I also liked, for example, like, I think I had kind of the Bobo version of like Tinker Toys or like Legos or things like that. And being able to put things together and to figure out how it worked, I was just interested. But when it came to that type of building, I was more interested in the electronic stuff than the physical, although I thought the physical was cool too. So I just remember being really interested and intrigued about, oh, well, if you push this, what does that do? And if you connect these things, what does that do?
And then when you came through that experience, you kept through your journey in life, and was computers and that was that first step in you exploring this idea of systems were going to change your life? And we're going to get into systems here in the next segment. But is that when, because when Kristina and I talked about this segment today, I got really excited about it because I know that Jon's a big habit person about systems. I know Marty is, to get things done. So when I learned about your whole journey on how you've embraced this idea of using systems to drive success, was that where everything really started for you, Monica?
I think so, because especially continuing on through school. And again, as I mentioned, I just had some kind of struggle really with focusing and with learning how I learned best. I was always wanting to find the system. And at the time, I think I thought of it more like as the unlock, the cheat code to make things easier for myself.
Yeah.
Because I felt like a lot of times it was sort of this uphill battle trying to do things that were oftentimes easier for others. So I was like, well, I want to figure it out because I don't want to be told no. I hated no. You can see the red hair. I didn't take no very well. And I wanted to be able to do what I wanted to be able to do. So I figured, well, if I'm not doing it and if it's not working the way I'm doing it, then there has to be a different system that will make it so I can do it.
Interesting. Talk about the building a second brain. What does that mean? So, we all got our first brain, but you have you led operations at a productivity powerhouse behind building a second brain, about cutting costs and optimizing efficiency. Talk about that for a few moments, Monica.
Sure. So building a second brain is Tiago Forte, is the CEO and founder of Forte Labs, his methodology. And it's a methodology that teaches people how to do a lot of things around the world of productivity, but mainly around the world of personal knowledge management, or PKM. And PKM is this fancy term that I think unless you're in the bubble of the productivity or the PKM community, it's not very common in that sense. But essentially, it means all that information that we're bombarded with every day. And I know that let's say amongst our age group, we can remember that 25 years ago, it wasn't like this between YouTube, Twitter, all the different things. It wasn't there. So if you imagine we have all of that, people have families, they have work, they have all the things that they're trying to manage. So building a second brain really helps people figure out how to take all that stuff and not try to keep it in your first brain, but put it into a digital solution. And it's a digital solution of your choice. It's an app agnostic system. So whether you use Notion, Obsidian, Roam, all sorts of different tools that you could check out to do that. You can use that system to help you organize your information and help you just kind of live life better, more fun, and more productively.
That's awesome.
Monica, talking my language, man.
Yeah, Monica, what do you do to take care of yourself outside of the desk, outside of the office? We live a lifestyle of being business athletes, taking care of our human and putting those principles. Take care of yourself first, as Johnny says. Put your oxygen mask on first before you put on somebody else. When you get up to start your day, Monica, what drives you forward besides besides the work side of things? Talk about the personal side of Monica and what gets you going.
So I will admit I'm learning to love exercise, and I think that might align with some folks on this call.
Yeah.
I've had a love-hate relationship with especially like fitness and weight and things related to that my whole life. But I've always enjoyed being active. I like to go out. I like to do different things in terms of hiking or going to the gym and that sort of thing. My husband and I joined our local gym. We go to Edge Fitness because we didn't do the whole gym thing during at home and COVID. Now we're doing the challenge together. And so he has a trainer, I have a trainer, we're doing all kinds of things together. And it's a lot of fun. But there's long and short of it is I love to work. So I have to remember that in order to do that part of what I do, I have to be the healthiest version of me. Mm-hmm. And I know that if I start my day with me, and me doesn't mean email, me doesn't mean, looking on Instagram. Me means getting my butt out of bed and moving my body in some capacity.
Yes. So before we get to the fit tip, Johnny, let's give our friend Dr. Monica a little bit of motivation to emphasize that taking care of you first, Jon Andersen, for her and her husband.
Yeah. I think, when it comes, I always think to try to sometimes analogies are helpful, and think of it like this, where our bodies are like race cars. And, when we keep our race cars finely tuned and finely fueled, we will crush the track, so to speak, the track of life. So when people get up in the morning and they don't do what you're talking about, Monica, they're basically taking a piss in their gas tank. And you expect that when you take a piss in the gas tank of a race car, you're going to win the race? Hell no. So keep doing what you're doing. That's what's all. You're fueling yourself properly, by mind, body, and soul before it's time to kick ass. That's like tuning up your race car before the race starts. So that's what it's all about. Great job.
Yeah.
Thank you. I will replay that. Thank you very much. That's going to be especially on those mornings when I'm like, I don't want to get up. I will replay that. So thank you.
Absolutely.
Or you can turn the show on every single day, 8 o'clock Eastern time, Monday to Friday, right here on YouTube, X, LinkedIn.
Nice plug.
You can find us anywhere. It's the only show that helps you, helps your husband, helps men like us get the day started and help achieve the big, hairy, audacious goals. And to do that, we weave fitness into it. And to do that, we got an awesome dude on the show named Christopher Martin, a.k.a. CMartyFit. And he dropped something that sounds a little bit like this.
You know what time it is.
Come on, man. Come
on, man. You know what time it is. All right, we got the fitness tip for today. All right, we're going to talk about what to do after a workout. All right, your body needs proper care to recover and grow stronger. So some of the worst things you can do when you finish your workout, what you don't want to do is skip the cool down. All right. All right. Stopping suddenly can cause dizziness and stiffness, okay? Walk around for a few minutes, do a stretch, allow your body to cool down, especially with the wintertime coming up. Last thing you want to do is go sit in the car when it's cold, sit at the desk. That can really cause some problems for your muscles. So try to get a cool down stretch in, okay? Not refueling properly. Me and Johnny and Keith a little bit, we talk about this all the time. Your body needs nutrients to repair muscles and restore energy. And that also helps with your fat burn, because we know from this show, you burn your fat into your sleep. Eat a balanced snack with protein and carbs 30 to 60 minutes after your workout. You know, protein shake, yogurt with fruit, lean protein, a vegetable, a good carb, things like that, okay? Staying in sweaty clothes, first of all, that's just nasty, okay? Change your shirt after your workout. Damp clothing can cause irritation and infections, and it's a bad smell. So change your clothes, change your shirt, especially going out there in the wintertime. We also don't want you to get sick, all right? Neglecting hydration is another one. Dehydration leads to fatigue, cramps, slower recovery, and you're not going to burn as much fat if you don't get on top of your hydration, and that's most of our goals. So drink water to replenish the lost fluids. And lastly, going straight to the couch. I kind of mentioned it when sitting in the car, right? Sitting for too long can make your muscles tighten and slow recovery, all right? Gentle movement, walk, yoga, stretch, do a dynamic stretch before the workout as well. I know we're talking about after the workout, but you want to move your body as much as possible, and those small things add up. Keep your muscles active without straining them, all right? By making these small adjustments, you set yourself up for better recovery, more energy, better results. That's the goal right there. That's the fitness tip for today.
Fit tip of the day with CMartyFit, Christopher Martin. Every day around this time, the guys give you something to think about. So if you're laying in bed, you're like, I don't want to fucking do anything. Well, listen to Chris. Listen to Marty, because he's going to give you something to get going and give you something to think about even after your workouts. We dropped it every single day here.
Absolutely.
That's it. I like today's, man, because we don't talk about what happens when the workout's done, right? So
we don't talk about it enough. That's why this show exists.
I love that. Hey, Marty, we got somebody here in the lab this morning. Good time is here this morning. Good time. Good to see you. That's awesome. Good to have you here this morning. Good time. All right, let's bring in our team here. We got John, Marty. We're going to bring Kristina in for the conversation this morning. Dr. Monica. We're going to bring the whole crew here in this morning to have the big chat around burnout, to break through the hidden cost of hustle with Dr. Monica Rysavy. 72% team, 72% of entrepreneurs report mental health struggles, according to Gallup. Burnout, Johnny, being the big cause. Monica, how did you break free from the hustle trap? We talk about hustle here all the time. We talk hustle culture. We talk about starting side hustles to replace the main job in life. But how did you break free from the hustle trap? And what role, Dr. Monica, did systems play in saving your sanity and business growth? Dr. Monica Rysavy.
You know, I was thinking as you were saying that, did I break free from the hustle trap? Like, was that an issue for me? And I was like, it wasn't, because I can honestly tell you, I've never in my entire life thought that I had a period of my life where I was hustling, so to speak. Because the term hustle to me, at least when you talk about hustles and burnout, it's thinking of folks who are like going to the mat. They're going 1,000 miles an hour because they're thinking that they have to work that hard to achieve the goal. And that to me is where the problem exists. People think they have to go that hard to make the goal happen. And I find that oftentimes, especially with entrepreneurs, when they tell me I'm burning out, I'm feeling like I'm working all of the time, Yeah, but are you working on the right things? And what is it in service of? Like, what's the goal that you're actually trying to achieve here?
Yeah, we got some comments coming in from the side here that I want to quickly address because we love keeping everybody active on the feed here. Part of the show is keeping engagement with everybody here on the side here. Good morning, good time, good to have you here. Shelly Spence as well, good to have you here as well. And Johnny, I got to pull this up here, man. But Craig Stevens says, I'm squatting in the backyard right now, taking a shit completely naked right now. And I'm sorry, I know we're here talking systems, but I had to lean into this one because I wanted to get a reaction from Andersen. Johnny?
He's basically, number one, he's unapologetically being himself. He's doing it respectfully because he's naked and he's taking a dump in his own backyard. Now, obviously, if that was on the sidewalk, the respectfully part would be going out the window. So just like when I was doing pull-ups butt naked, bottom line is, if you want to do something butt naked and you're not offending somebody else, be yourself and do it.
Dr.
I know you didn't just condone that. I know you didn't just condone that, John.
Listen, the bottom line is, hey, listen, what is it that we have? Why, if for some reason taking a dump and doing squats for him naked floats his boat and it's helping him do his squats, get at it.
We're here talking systems with Dr. Monica. And hey, if your system works by doing pull-ups or going out in the backyard, to go for a shit naked, then that's the system that works for you. So if that's what it takes, that's what it takes.
And we ask ourselves a simple question when we're unapologetically being ourselves. Why not?
Well,
are we going to offend somebody? Are we going to do something that's not good for society? Are we doing something that's going to take something away from somebody else? No. Okay. Well, get at the pull-ups butt naked, or get at the squats in the backyard naked. Whatever you got to do, baby.
Wrap it up.
Next segment, Keith. Next segment, Keith.
We got Arm joining us.
He gets so bothered by this stuff. It's so great. I love it.
Arm joining us from the show yesterday. Good morning, Arm. I saw you here this morning. Thanks for joining us here on the show this morning. And hey, we got Cosmic Vision. I had strep throat, but I'm still going to get up and hit the treadmill running. Dude, that's awesome, Cosmic. I know you found our show as well here, and I just want to bring you into this. And we got Fit Presenter coming in as well, which is I use chat for today's schedule. Of course, schedule starts at 9. Oh my God, we got all this happening here. So let's just keep the chat going on here with Dr. Monica and keep it on track. Dr. Monica, the power of systems for mental and physical wellness that doesn't involve going out into the backyard and dropping our drawers. Entrepreneurs who manage their time with systems are 33% less likely to experience burnout. Monica, how does operational efficiency directly impact mental wellness? You know, you adopted a system, and it sounds to me like mental wellness took a turn for the better when you recognize that systems were going to be the foundation of your success. And then, Johnny, I want to come to you after Monica responds, because I know that systems have been the foundation of your success as well, Johnny. So, Monica, start with you here.
You know, one of the things that really helped me in terms of systems and just mental health and overall wellness is I have a pretty religious tracking system. I use Notion for this, but I track things about what I do for my health and fitness. And I've done this for years, but it's everything from, for example, did I drink the water that I'm supposed to drink? Did I get some steps in? Did I get movement? But I also have more like journal. I call it the qualitative researcher in me. So I have journaling and reflection. So like what went well today? What were big rocks or challenges today? What are things that I would like to do better tomorrow? And these are things that are just part of how I do reflection every day. And the reason I do it is, number one, I have the loving to fill up little grids in my spreadsheet. So I like to know that I'm continuing the process that I've set up for me. But also because I know that over time, small actions compound. And when you're busy and when you're part of doing life, right, you don't necessarily see those, like the compounding, the effects of what you're doing. But if you can zoom out and look, holy crap, in the last, 60 days, 55 days of that, I was active. Or I had wine last week and the week before that, and I said, I don't want to have wine. Am I going on track with what I want to do? So I found that being able to track both what I want to do and things that I don't want to do to make it more visible for me was transformational.
Yeah. Johnny?
Yeah. I mean, I can't agree more. I mean, when I was young, I figured out very quickly that I needed what I used to call it was an external hard drive. I needed to start off just with a piece of paper, but it quickly turned into a book, and every page of the book was a whole day. And I've got these books going back to the early 90s. And for me, what's that?
To the 1930s.
I wish I was that old, because my goal is to live to be 120. If I was the case, I'd be rocking, man. So thank you. I'll take that. But the thing I started to realize is I was using this really to kind of keep everything organized in my mind. I couldn't remember everything that was going on as a young entrepreneur. There was just so much happening. But what I quickly realized is as I wrote things in my book, I was actually programming my subconscious. And that's why I continued the writing. You know, when technology came out, there's all these better ways to do it, you know, supposedly. And I realized that, you know, typing something into, you know, a computer or a phone just didn't do the same for me. And then we find out later research that when you actually write something, it goes deeper into your subconscious than when you type it. And so, I mean, for me, this has been a huge, I mean, you take that book and you take that concept away from me, I don't know where I would be, but I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't have the life that I dreamed of having. And the best part is it continues. That's the thing. When you're on this path, it's like, it doesn't stop because you don't want it to stop. Goals are just basically checkpoints in your journey. So I cannot agree more with any variation of doing this. Another reason that I like the book, just a quick side note as I finish up, the book is open. It's on my desk. It's looking at me. If it's in my phone or a computer, the screen turns off. That stuff that I'm supposed to be, it's not barking at me. It's not looking at, it's not talking to me. So that's why I stick with the old school of literally writing shit in a book every day. And then literally one of the things I do in that is I grade myself on a daily basis. So I love that as well. You know, what do I want to, like, one of the things I ask myself is, what dumb shit did I do today I don't want to do tomorrow?
Some people listening right now are like, I fucking hate systems. They don't work. When I met Tina, as I got to know her, and I'm like, hey, we're all about systems here in the lab. We're about establishing processes. We're all about structure, yada, yada, yada. She's like, I do that. But Keith, I fucking hated systems for the longest time. So Tina, as you're listening to this conversation, like, how have you learned to embrace this idea of systems equals success? Because success doesn't happen by accident, right? We need a plan to have success. But Kristina, you have shunned this whole concept for a lot of your life, Kristina. So why now are you like, all right, I'm going to succumb to what the experts are saying? I see Marty's success. I see Johnny's success. I see Dr. Monica's success. I guess I got to fucking adopt a system. Tina?
Yes. So I remember sitting in a New York City restaurant with my wife, and we were not in a good state. And it was a rough conversation. And she was like, what the fuck has happened? Like, how are we even here? I said, kids fucked up my life. And she immediately started crying. And I knew I shouldn't have said that, but it's true. Kids fucked up my life. I had 2 kids, and everything that I had ever done to just get by, they made it implode. And it's actually probably the best thing that's ever happened to me, but it's taken me a really long time to get here to say, it doesn't matter what I want. It matters what they need. And what they need and what me and my wife need is structure. What they need and what me and my wife need is communication. What they need and what me and my wife need might be a boring fucking day, but that's going to lead to a really productive day. So on the inside, I fight it every day. I'm like, I hate this, because my fear is that every single day will look the same. And if every single day looks the same, my life is boring. And I'm like everyone else in the world. And I know that's not true, but emotionally, I struggle with that all the time, because I don't want that for my life. I don't want monotony. I don't want it to drag on. So I want to have that conversation here, because I don't think I'm the only one. I don't think I'm the only one in the audience that's going like, yeah, I know, but I don't want to. And it's boring. And doesn't that make me like everyone else? What the fuck am I supposed to do with that?
Mm-hmm. Well, the first thought to that is, if your system is creating that feeling, then maybe the system needs to be realigned to something that's a little bit, has a bigger payoff.
Explain. What do you mean?
Well, if like my loop, my system, my whole day's a system. And by the way, Keith, I got a really, really killer second dimension for system about business, and we'll go into whenever the time comes.
Yeah.
If my daily system didn't intrigue me, if my daily system didn't move the needle forward, if my daily system didn't give me the life that I wake up to enjoy, then I got to change the goddamn system. The system's not pointed the right direction. The system's not doing its job. If a system is making me feel the way you described, then the system has to be revamped.
And something also comes to mind for me too, in the sense that there have been times in my life when I was less excited about the things that I was doing, that my system was, helping me set up. I'll use the example of when I was leaving a previous job in higher ed because I wasn't really excited anymore. I have this firm rule at my core that if you're not excited to show up, you shouldn't be there anymore. And if you're in that season where you've got, the kids, the schedule and all the things, and you have a system that's like making all of it work, but you're feeling like it's dragging, adding something else to the mix or swapping something out that is exciting could also make things feel more intriguing. Because I was just thinking about it. And I think if most people were to look at my schedule and see, work, I'm transitioning from Forte Labs to running my company. Let me look at my Notion countdown widget, 4 days, 15 hours and 12 minutes until I will be a full-time entrepreneur next week. And as I think about, I have close down duties, I have startup duties, I have law school, I have family, all those things. But actually, I say with 100% truth, I don't feel like any of that is dragging or boring or not happy, because I chose all of it and I want to do all of it. But it took time for me to be able to do that. Like, I understand the privilege from which that statement is said.
Yeah, no kidding. So here's what we're gonna do, Nation. Right now, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do the lifestyle tip with Jon Andersen, and this conversation has spurred a whole other set of conversations in the comments. We're gonna come back to it. We typically come back with a protein break, and if we have some time, we'll lean into systems in the grocery store and systems for buying food. But Tina has rubbed a provocative topic on the table, which is, fuck, man, kids ruin our lives. Kids disrupt the systems. And Jon's like, well, hold on a second here. Maybe you don't have the system for success to help you achieve what you want to achieve. So let's do this, Nation. Let's bring Johnny up, talk about lifestyle. He's got something provocative, I think, for us to consider. And then let's come back. We'll put protein break on the shelf for a little bit. And then Kristina, we're going to come back and continue the conversation on deep dive, because this we've hit a nerve here with this one. So let's do that. Okay, guys? So Jimmy, we're going to put Johnny up here, and we're going to come back in about 90 seconds to continue this chat. Let's do this. You're up, John.
All right, let's go. Here we go. So here's the deal. Whether we like it or not, this is the way it works. The way we do one thing is the way we do everything. So if you have made a habit of not finishing things, that habit of not finishing things is going to apply to all areas of your life. And you really look, in terms of you wanting to be a better version of you, you wanting to live a more fulfilled life, you wanting to feel good about everything you do, you need to finish. Finishing a task, literally your brain will give you dopamine saying that feels good, do it again. Made a perfect example. I really dislike taking out the trash. It's something that I would avoid for just about anything. Well, when I do take out the trash, I do it all the way. I go to every single room, every single trash can, make sure it's completely empty, take it out to the actual bigger trash can in the garage. And when the task is done, I feel good because I did it all the way. And I know when I take the trash out all the way, I'm going to do things in my businesses all the way. I'm going to do things in my relationships all the way. So think about this. Be careful with the idea that you do some things all the way and some things you don't, because generally speaking, that's not the case. So remember, the way you do one thing is the way you're going to do everything. Rock and roll.
Do one thing is the way you're going to do everything. We're talking systems with Keith, Jon, Marty, Dr. Monica. We're going to bring him back up here. We're going to get into the protein break, and we're going to kind of mix it up, protein break, deep dive, and we're going to keep the conversation going, because Kristina, you said something provocative. I'm going to pull you on the stage here and kind of, I'm going to stand next to Johnny here and maybe call you out a little bit here on this one. But Kristina, you talk about how kids fucked everything up, and you're like, I'm not a systems person. I need to have shit just happen on my time and so forth. But Kristina, I'm thinking that when you go to the grocery store, weave in some protein breaks, some nutrition to this dialogue, you have a system. You don't just wander around aimlessly. You know, you probably go around the exterior of the store looking for those single ingredient foods like Jon talks about. But when you go buy food, I got to think, Kristina, you have a plan. You don't just let it happen by accident. And is that so, or am I wrong, Kristina? Do you just wing it through that whole experience? Because, you know, it's just like Jon hating to, you know, take the garbage out. Or some people hate going to get groceries, but yet when we recognize there's a foundation in place, it just makes everything easier. Kristina Flynn.
I've talked about it before. My wife is my rock, and she is the planner for food around our house. If she's not planning, I'm not eating. I genuinely think I would be a horrible parent without her because I never remember to eat. So she knows if she's going to send me to a grocery store, there better be a plan, because if not, I'm coming home with the most ridiculous shit you've ever seen in the cart. And it's all about what was on sale. And like, babe, this is a crazy deal. You got to see this. And she's like, we don't need
that.
8 things of toilet paper. And I'm like, yeah, but it was a great deal. Like, it's sick. It's awesome. So I'm not a great example of that, but it does show you, I'll bring it back to that. It does show you if you don't have the plan, which fairly enough, she gives me, I'm a disaster. Because for me, it becomes about like the dopamine. I'm like sauntering around. She's like, why did it take you 2.5 hours at the grocery store? I'm like, I don't know, just looking. Like, these products are so cool. You got to check it out. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not the best, I guess, example to use.
Yeah. So then, Monica, so true story, Monica, you know, do you find yourself using Notion and ClickUp to go to the grocery store? Like, with all respect, like, are you that neurotic with making sure every I's dotted and T's crossed? Like, are you walking around with a journal like Jon Andersen's and making sure everything's documented, or do you leave wiggle room? Because again, some people like to have less guardrails around moving towards success. Monica.
I don't think you're going to anticipate this response, but I don't go to the grocery store.
I was going to say, you're not going to catch me in that son of a bitch either. You know?
No. And, you know, and here's the thing. I was thinking about this, and this is maybe another hack or another tip and something that's worked for me. I am very much like what Kristina describes, like the dopamine hits going around the grocery store and being like, oh, look at that. Or I would listen to podcasts when I was at the grocery store and like stop in the aisle to get to a good bit. And then like 20 minutes went by and I'm the weirdo in the aisle not moving.
Writing notes.
Exactly. So this really, I think it started with, you know, lockdown. We weren't going to grocery stores, but we switched to online delivery. But then we switched to like a local meal delivery service, which does a fresh meal delivery that's like a paleo style delivery. So it's macro oriented. It's what I'm supposed to eat on my plan. We have some fruits and other supplemental things, fruits and veg and that kind of thing delivered. We don't really go to the grocery store. So that hack for me is, I know that doesn't work for me. I know I really don't like it. So I find a better solution that works that I can systematize. So maybe that's a little bit neurotic in the sense, but it also saves me a ton of time and it also saves me money too. And I'm eating better.
Yeah. No,
Instacart is the way to go, baby.
Yeah. Hey, Marty, when clients come to you, less brunches, more crunches, and they're coming knock on your door looking for some help, are they coming in with their own way of doing things, their own systems that you have to change, Marty? Or are they sit down saying, Marty, teach me? Because I know, Jon, we talk with the guys that knock on your door. They're like, just tell me what to do, man. But Marty, in your world, are people coming in and you having to change how they do things? You're like, no, I need you to go to the grocery store this way. Like, are you teaching folks how to do things, Marty, to do things with Christopher?
Yeah, most people don't have a system.
Yeah.
They can't even spell system. So I gotta create it for them. You know, that's my job. That's what they pay me for. So just like Monica just said, you know, people don't know what a macronutrient is. She has her whole system and plan is macronutrient based. So I have to teach them all of that. You know, for some reason, nutrition is just one of those things we don't learn in school. You kind of have to have some real life experience or some professional or someone who's experiencing it teach you to know what's going on.
Yeah, no kidding. Johnny?
You know, the thing about systems, I mean, I guess to put it like this, with my clients, with my employees / team members, with anyone that needs to perform that's close to me, there's going to be a system, because the system is there for them to follow and basically do that system and do their job stress-free. Because if something goes wrong, it's not that person's fault. It's the system's fault. The system needs to be altered. So it's a really, really helpful way for all you entrepreneurs out there or people who are getting into it. And you want someone to perform at the highest level, help them understand what they're doing, show them the system of getting it done and explain to them, look, if you follow this and it doesn't work, there is zero fault to you. You just report the flaw or the bug in the system. We work it out and we keep going. So from the standpoint of getting people to perform at the highest level, this is something I think a lot of people miss.
Yeah. Monica, as we're wrapping up the segment here, what's a little bit of advice you'd offer to somebody who's just getting started, an entrepreneur who's or perhaps on their way and they're feeling a little bit lost? What kind of advice would you offer them to move forward? Monica.
Think about your goals. If you don't have them, make some. If you don't know how to make goals, and I know that sounds goofy, but some people don't know how to set goals. Look into some research about how to set goals. And there's a lot of different authors out there. I personally like the academic researcher Carol Dweck, and she talks a lot about goal orientation theory and self-efficacy, thinking about I can do this or I want to do this, and to what extent can I? Think about your goals and think about what's going on in your business and how it aligns with those goals. And then start to map out. And I'm going to use Jon's paper example. Get out some paper, get out a pen, and start drawing blocks on your paper and putting your goals into blocks and start connecting things and start to try to force yourself to see the connection between the things you do every single day and what your goals are. And I have a feeling you're going to see that a lot of the things you're doing every day don't have much to do with your goals. And sometimes once you put that on paper, it helps you realize how far away you are, but how close you could be if you stop doing so many of the things that have nothing to do with your goals in the first place.
Tina.
I want to talk about the fact. So yes, I have fought this for a very long time. One thing I'm starting to realize, and I think Johnny and Marty, you've talked about this a lot, is that the freedom is in the system because the system does something to your brain. And it's that the habits that you're doing over and over and over again free up that mental capacity that's required when you don't have a system. And to me, that's what I've been really leaning into. That's what's helped me to kind of lean in versus lean out, to say, oh, this is actually giving me more time because I can do things on autopilot. So I wanted to hear quickly Jon and Marty's thoughts on that.
Oh, man, cut me loose on this one. My morning routine, as I call it, and I hate the word routine is almost getting a bad rap right now because, people think if they have some great morning routine, they're going to be an instant success. Well, your routine is something that you do for decades. So don't think if you make a routine, all of a sudden your life's going to turn the other direction. But anyway, my morning routine, the first, hour that I'm awake, I get a lot of shit done and I'm not really awake enough to process it all. It's because my body it's subconscious behavior. My body is good at doing this activity, these acts, without really involving my conscious mind. So I'm waking up, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, but it's all happening and I don't really have to think much about it. So the idea of having systems or routines or habits in your life, you're going to be so much more productive, especially if you continue to lean on them, because a system, a routine, it's an evolution. It's always going to constantly change. It's a moving target. So that being said, I just cannot stress enough how helpful surrounding yourself with systems or habits, routines, whatever you want to call it. It's a way to be productive in all areas of your life. If I don't use my systems, even my personal life will fall apart.
Yeah, lost. Marty.
Yeah, I was going to give, that's the angle I was going to give, how like you don't even feel right when you're not on your routine, when you're not in your system. I know myself, I'm losing my mind, and it's kind of just become part of my life, and I kind of develop structure and everything. So I do that for business. I do it for fitness. I do it for even for my personal life. I got to have a system. I have certain days and times where I'm going to dedicate this to family. I'm going to go see my mom. I'm going to go hang with this person. I'm going to hang with this person. So, Monica, is that true for you as well? Does your life kind of fall apart if you're not in your routine or system?
100%. I get cranky too. I get real cranky when I'm not following my systems because I set them up to help me feel like the best version of myself. And I tried to do that as many days as possible. And when you were saying about how, you set up time to go see folks, like see your mom, hang out with different people, I have to do the same thing. And I'm one of those folks that has a hard time responding to text messages because I'll read it. I love it. I think it's great, but then I forget to reply. So I have systems in place that help me remember to do it so that way I can do it.
And here's the thing that we don't talk about enough, and I think this could be a whole show. We talk about goals and we talk about moving forward, but what we don't talk about is our personal standards. What is our standard? Well, see, my systems and my routine help me uphold my standard, how I expect myself to behave every day. The fact that I do it a certain way, and my systems, my routine helps me keep my standards high. And when your standards are high, you move through life and you, I hate to say this, but most people don't even know what their standards are.
Yep.
And if you don't know what your standards are, it's like you're a boat that's trying to go somewhere, but with no destination, man. You're just wandering around, not having a clue where you're going.
Yes. We're talking systems. We're talking routines. They're not bad words, nation. You want to have success. You want to achieve the biggest goal in your life. Write it down. Write it on a piece of paper. Set that goal, put it in a box, and move towards it. Without it, you're probably going to wander aimlessly. I think of systems in two pieces, you guys. I think of it as radar and a compass, right? You got your GPS, you got your compass. You're going to go north, south, east, west, and you got your GPS coordinates to keep you in that same direction. So systems are important. We're here talking systems with Dr. Monica this morning, and we're going to wrap this up. Clearly we can, here we go. We got Richie joining us here now. My challenge with habits and systems is when my environment changes, traveling, etc. Any tips? And you know what, guys? Richie and I had coffee yesterday and we talked with this. Well, I'm going to extend the segment 2 minutes here quickly here, guys. Richie and I talked yesterday and we talked about how when all of a sudden our life changes. I know when I was going through my divorce and when my ex-wife had the kids and when I had the kids, I had to adjust my system, and it just clustered up my whole head, frankly. So I think Richie's talking about it a little bit, but what tips would you have, Jon Andersen, when things go sideways? Marty,
100%.
Marty, go.
Oh, Marty.
Yeah, I wanted to add in, so let's say you're traveling. I always look at where am I staying? Is there a gym there? What's a gym I can get to that's convenient? What restaurants are there? Because I don't want to eat. I don't want to be a big back too much. Not too much when I'm on the road. I don't want to use the road as an excuse. So what restaurants are around? Or is there a meal prep service or a delivery service I can use? So just doing things up front in advance can prevent a lot of impulsive things that could throw you off of your system or your routine when you travel.
100%. And along with that, I totally agree with all of that. All of what Marty just explained is great, but you have to go into that setting with the idea that I'm going to get better at making my system work when I'm not at home. And when you go with the idea, I'm going to improve, then everything that Marty just put into play is basically your roadmap to improve.
Yes. Richie, I appreciate you, man. And Mike, I love your comments as well, brother. I've always resisted structure, preferring to be spontaneous. Then I learned structure doesn't freeze you, it frees you. I love
like that.
That's awesome. Mike McQuillan joining us here from Peru, our awesome friend of the lab here, brother of the lab, guest of the lab, Mike McQuillan joining us here from Lima, Peru. So listen, we're going to wrap this up. Dr. Monica Rysavy, thanks for joining us here in the lab this morning. What a great conversation. Will you come back and clearly we've touched a nerve with this. Clearly we've touched a nerve that has, it's not for everyone. Some people wonder why they're not having success. And John's like, well, no, you haven't written it down. Some people are wondering why they are having success. And Marty's like, yeah, it's because you have written it down. So Monica, final word to you before we say goodbye to you this morning.
First of all, thank you for having me. And yes, I would love to come back. I think there are so many things we could geek out about that we can combine systems in life and goals and productivity and all the things, and how putting all of those things together can help you live a more satisfying, happier, and fulfilling life for yourself and for people around you that you care about.
Awesome. And Dr. Monica, where can Business Athlete Nation find you?
The best way to find me is on my LinkedIn page. Hopefully we can connect to that on the LinkedIn post that'll go out about this, and also on systematicu.com. So feel free to sign up for my email newsletter because that's where I share all my best tips and tricks.
Excellent. Now, listen, you are welcome to hang around for the next segment coming up here after Kristina's personal brand bite. I got a couple fun topics to throw on the table here before we get into In the Gym with Jon and Marty. But right now, we've introduced a new segment a couple days ago, and it sounds a little bit like this. Oh, this is the point, Marty. Kristina dances during this segment. Johnny's going to go for a break. Monica, hang around, man. This is where Kristina loves getting in front of the camera. She becomes a star in front of the camera, and she gives you a personal brand bite to help you guys build that personal brand. So let's get out of here and let her do her thing. Okay, guys? Go ahead, Tina. You're up, kiddo.
All right. So let's cut through the noise. I talked about it yesterday. I talk about it all the time. The importance of storytelling. I've given you some manual exercises that you can do, but I want to shake things up a little bit today. If you want to discover your story, but you don't know where to start, you don't have to figure it out all alone. AI, yes, I just said that. AI's got your back. So here's how you can use AI to not just tell your story through content, blogs, all that kind of stuff, but actually uncover it, figure out what it is. And this has been a critical factor to me understanding who I am and what I'm about. So step one, set up an AI sidekick. We'll use ChatGPT for this, but you can use Claude, Gemini, whatever it is. But ChatGPT is fast, it's smart, and it's been game changer for me in so many ways. So you're going to open up a new chat. You can do this with free or paid. And you're going to prompt it with this. It's something I call Story Engine. You're now Story Engine, an AI chatbot helping me uncover and articulate my personal story, act like a research and editorial journalist. Don't analyze yet, just capture my responses. Then you're going to spill your guts. Use the voice mode if you've got it. Just speak it into the microphone and get real. So you're going to answer questions like you're sitting across from your most trusted confidant. Who raised you? Where were you raised? What were the values that stuck? What makes you tick? What's your work journey been like? What moments shifted everything for you? Don't hold back. The more honest you get, the more powerful your story becomes. And then step 3 is let AI do its thing. Once you've shared this, tell AI to analyze with this prompt. Analyze my responses and answer. What's the high-level summary of who I am? What themes run across all categories of my life? And what makes me really unique in my work? And what's different about me than other people that might be doing the same things as me? Step 4, face the truth. Whatever AI gives you, it's using your words to respond back to you. The answers might surprise you. They might even piss you off, but that's the point. You want this deep level of self-reflection to get the real parts of your story that you didn't even realize were there. And finally, then you want to refine and you want to reflect. If you're not happy with what you see, ask follow-up questions, dig deeper, push back. This is your story, and AI is here to help you uncover it. Now what? So using AI isn't about letting it write your story for you. Again, it's just helping you with that self-reflection. It's giving you a third-party perspective, largely unbiased to you. Not that AI is unbiased at all, but so you can see yourself clearly, and maybe you see yourself clearly for the first time, which is what it was for me. It's really that simple. I have entered my no fucks era, and I promise you, if you take this one simple step, you will too. You got this.
Kristina Flynn, the personal brand bite every single day. We're running a few minutes late, but today that's okay. You guys need that digital personal brand in 2024, 2025, the days of the resume, Kristina, are done. Who makes a fucking CV or resume today?
CVs are out. LinkedIn is your CV. And I promise you, I know you hate hearing that. I hated it too, but it's true.
It's so true. So, hey, you want that personal brand? Come knock on our door. Come knock on the Business Athlete Performance Lab, where we build business athletes. And you know what? You come hang out with us. You get to hang out with Tina. She'll sit down, interview you, create some great content, and help you create that personal brand. And she'll might dance for you too. We'll dance all together. All right. So, hey, listen, we are now in the second part of the show where this is what happens. And I know that good time is looking for this. Oh, it's Friday, dancing in the lab here. I'm going to change my camera. Let's try this here this morning. All right. We got the standing cam.
I got so many jokes, but I'm just going to keep them to myself.
Yeah, you keep your jokes, brother. You keep your jokes to yourself. Here's the morning loop. Jon, Marty, Kristina Flynn, and Dancing Bilous over here. We got the Highland Pipes bringing us into the lab. Woo! I got the old Elaine Bennis dance going on here right now. Stella. All right, so hey, I got the standing cam going on right now, Marty. What do you think of that there, brother? Pretty good, eh?
I actually like that.
Yeah, it's pretty good. All right, listen. So I got something funny that I want to throw on the table. And we got Dr. Rysavy hanging out here still. That's great. Oh, hey, I noticed that when I stood and danced, the hearts came out. Look at that. The hearts on the screen came out. So if you like the channel, subscribe to it. You can subscribe. You can like. You can comment. But men, I got something for you, men. Marty, Johnny, I got something for the men here today. Men, I need you to tune in and listen up. I need you to tune in and listen up with what I'm going to say next. If you want your wife to live longer, I know we all want our wives to live longer. If we want our wives to live longer, research has suggested that the amount of sex that we have increases.
I knew this was going here. I knew it. I could feel it coming.
It's true. Johnny, I'm looking at you, brother, because we're the old dogs in the house here, man. I know, and we are the old dogs in the house here. But I'm telling you, man, stats have shown. I got the stats here. I'm going to pull them up here. Hold on. Here we go. So women who regularly have sex are likely to live longer, according to a national representative study in the United States. Participants who had depression and engaged in sexual activity fewer than 52 times in a year were found to have a nearly 200% higher chance of dying, guys, than those that didn't. So stats suggest that lack of sex is linked to higher mortality risk, especially for those with depression. So, gentlemen, in a study led by Walden University, 15,000 adults were asked. In the past 12 months, how many times have you had sex? Roughly 38% claim to have sex on average of once a week or more. The reality was that female participants who claimed to have sex less than 50 times in a year, John, listen to this one, Marty. Female participants who claimed to have sex less than 52 times in a year were 3 times more likely to die from any cause over the 5-year study period. So, gentlemen, if you love your wife, dude, make love to her. Go have sex with her. Go and show interest in her if you want her to live a long time. Jon Andersen, how would you like to comment on this today, pal?
Well, I mean, is in my schedule, in my system, you know, that 5:30-ish, that's Terry time. That's my wife. Yes. And I put some options on the table. As I think it was yesterday. I said, look, we want to go to the bedroom. We want to go out to the lake and read. We want to go get on the dirt bikes and go to the track. I put some options on there, but go to the bedroom, or I don't call it that. Honestly, if you want me to be totally honest, I say, do you want to hump? That's our call. That's how we address it, you know? And I guess to a certain extent, to put it bluntly, I guess we don't have to worry about Terry dying anytime soon.
Yes. Kristina, so you're listening to this conversation. So, you know, you're going to go off the show today and you're going to talk to Aaron and you're going to say, hey, I heard a study here on the show today. Like, so is this rattling your brain, or are you leaning into this, or you're like, this is hooey fooey, Keith? What are you thinking, Kristina?
First of all, I don't know what hooey fooey means, so let's add that to the list of things that we don't talk about anymore. Second, that's only once a week, fam.
Yeah, I know.
52 times a year. That's once a week, fam. So it's okay. We can make that work. And if you can't find that time in your schedule, there's a larger problem there. I think I also need to know too, not everyone has a partner. Does this work with masturbation?
Yourself.
Is it the same thing?
According to the statistics, females that have sex more than once a week will live longer. So ladies, if you don't have a partner, take care of yourself, because you want to live longer. There's just, according to the stats, according to the science, females who have sex more than twice a week will live longer. There you go. Leave it at that. So you're the doctor in the group here. Dr. Monica, how would you like to comment on this this point of the show here? Monica.
I was hoping you were going to skip me. So I'll bring it back to systems.
Yes.
And say that, you know, if this research study, that I would love to see where their stats came from a little bit more, although I very much appreciate that you mentioned their population size of 15,000 participants, because that was interesting.
Yes.
A lot of studies will say that they had like participants, and it was like 20 people.
Yeah,
So it was good to hear that there was a lot more people in it.
Yes.
But I certainly want to live longer. So I'll just put it out there. I may have a field in my Notion database that tracks such things.
Yeah,
that's it. That's what I'm telling you. Well,
You
and
gotta
on that level,
digital pad.
and on that level, when your system basically encapsulates having sex, then holy shit, how do you not enjoy that system? How do you not enjoy that rhythm, that routine? You just got to program the things into the routine that floats your boat, literally.
I get it,
Chris
Johnny.
Martin.
I see what you're doing. You're trying to tell. I get you. I see you.
Marty.
I got a system as well. I'm not married, but I got a system for it. So I'll leave it at that.
I love it. All right, you're hanging out with Keith, Marty, Jon, Kristina Flynn, and our guest, Dr. Monica, here this morning. We're talking systems, and I had to weave in, gentlemen, how we love our wives, so do that. Just show the love that you have. Lauren, I love you, baby. I love you so much. You have a great weekend with your girlfriend this weekend. I mean, all right, Rich, what's your system, brother? All right, so listen, let's go to in the gym. And Johnny, I threw something to Marty this morning. I said, "Hey, I want you guys to talk about this today. Not I want, but I gave you guys something to talk about." And John, I kind of threw out there to Marty to kind of have some fun with you on this one. So Marty and John are going to do in the gym with John and Marty. We do it every single day at this time, 9:15 Eastern time. The only place on the planet you're going to have these two fucking experts get in the gym and tell you guys things that you probably don't even know about. We talked earlier this week about training outside of the gym. Johnny talked about his journey going to North Korea. And today we're going to lean into something where Marty's going to lead the conversation with Johnny, and then we're going to come back and wrap the show up. All right. So Dr. Monica, thanks for coming in today with us. I loved having you on the show. Let's come back and hang out with us again. Okay.
Yeah. Can she
Thank you
come
for
back?
having me.
We will have her back. I agree. I absolutely agree, guys. So listen, let's get out of here. Tina, we're going to get out. Dr. Monica, we're going to get out. We're going to put Johnny and Chris on the stage, and I'm going to figure out this whole camera situation. All right, guys, hang tight. Dude, let's do this. Boom, boom, and then boom.
John, what's up, man?
Come on, baby. What kind of curveballs you guys got planned for me today? Let's go.
We got some good stuff, man. So
let's have it.
We got the 10 commandments, the 10 fitness commandments, the 10 commandments of fitness. I'm sorry, I messed it up. That you must obey. All right.
And it's my 10 commandments, or you're talking about you're going to tell me what they supposedly are?
I'm going to tell you what they are from Box Rocks, and you're going to agree, disagree, or give some insight.
Oh shit! Okay. I could guarantee they're going to be different than if I was coming up with the 10. So this will be fun.
I'm sure you have your own 10 that probably aren't even on this list. All right. Number 1, never take breaks. Consistency is the cornerstone of progress in the gym. Avoid the pitfalls of intermittent training by maintaining a steady workout routine. Steer clear of the start-stop cycle. How you feel about that?
I 100% agree. I mean, literally what I preach in that is make it easy to show up and make it easy to get a workout that makes you want to do it again tomorrow. Because when you create a positive association in your brain with going to the gym and job well done, you want to do it. And when you want to do something, it becomes much, much easier.
And to make it a little more practical, when you see the results, you're not going to want to stop, so
100%. And on that level too, what I always really preach is, look, if you're looking, let's say you're trying to get your abs, stop focusing on getting your abs. Focus on what are you doing today to maximize today to get towards that goal. Because when you're staring at the finish line, what you're not staring at is the shit you need to be doing today to make sure that you have a good workout that you want to come back again tomorrow.
Absolutely. All right. Number 2, stick to a program for 6 months. Patience is key. Real change takes time. How you feel about committing to a structured program for 6 months?
Well, here's the thing. Part of what screws people up is it's a long game for sure. But what screws people up is they invest, they put in energy, they invest X, right? And they're not getting back X plus. And so that's one of the things that I'm really big on. So many people have been and they've been busting their ass and they're not getting the return on their investment that they feel they deserve. And for the most times they're not. And so what I say is this, granted 6 months, if you have the right guidance, that 6 months should blow your mind in the type of progress you're making. You should make killer progress. You should learn to make it more simple. You should learn to make it easier. You should learn that 6 months should be like a life changer. So if you're one of these people who's grinding away and you do something for even a month, 2 months, and you're not getting really, really good progress, you got to go back to the drawing board. You got to figure out a better way to get the job done.
And I'll add this too. Stop focusing on the 6 months. Just focus on the baby step. Get your ass up and just, one day at a time. That's it. Stop thinking 6 months is a long time. I can't see 6 months from now. Don't worry about that,
Well, and the thing about it is if people under my wing, they're going to see progress and they're going to feel it inside the first week, which makes it real easy to want to continue. Yep. And when you want to continue, it's a whole lot easier, baby. So when
Absolutely.
you say 6 months, yes, it seems like a long time only because you're not getting the results you want. But when you're getting the results you want, that 6 months goes by fast.
Absolutely. All right, we got number 3. Prioritize big 3 lifts: squat, bench, and deadlift. How do you feel about that being your solid foundation for results?
100%. I mean, I have people come to me all the time and they have back issues and they say they can't do this stuff. It's just because they're doing it wrong. When I teach them how to do it right, they get to those movements, you get a lot of bang for the buck. My job is to make sure that every time someone does an action, they're going to get a big paycheck for that action, so to speak. And those lifts will give big paychecks, even when you're not doing them heavy or taking any risks. So when I teach people how to do those lifts properly, it actually strengthens the area that they were trying to keep safe. And then that area that was once a problem is not a problem any longer.
Absolutely, man. Like them stabilizer muscles and core, those are slept on in these movements. Number 4, avoid high intensity workouts. Intensity is vital, but excessive high intensity workouts can lead to burnout and increased risk of injury. This is an article here, but the first thing I'm thinking maybe like no offense to anybody who does these, but like if you depend on an Orange Theory, if you depend on a Barry's Boot Camp, opposed to doing traditional strength training, that's what I think it's referring to. But how do you feel about that, or what do you interpret from that?
Well, I think again, when it comes to this whole drill, people want to have a single thing that, okay, well, I'm supposed to do this. It's never one thing. It's a whole bunch of things mixed together. And when you understand, like, intensity is great. You need some intensity. It keeps it fun. Especially when you're really rested, some intensity, you get a lot of bang for the buck out of that. But you also got to understand that, you can only do that so much before you actually make it difficult for the body to do what you want it to do. Once the body gets overtrained, I should say overtrained might even be the wrong word, because most people have a hard time undertraining, but they undersleep really well and they undernourish really well. So once a person gets behind the 8 ball, then that intensity is not going to do them any favors.
That's what I think too. And I think when you say overtrained, I'm thinking physically, but it's also mental as well, because once your physical is done, the mental's gone.
Yeah, and there's so few people that overtrain, because when you sleep properly and you eat properly, you can do a lot of shit. It's just if you're not putting those 2 pieces of the equation in, I mean, hell, you're overtrained with everything you do, because you feel like hell. You wake up sluggish, you go to bed sluggish. So, the whole idea of overtraining that's a whole different topic. But the bottom line is you need the variables. You need the intensity, and then you need those days where there's no intensity and let your body heal, but movement is still there.
Yep. Your body will adapt to what you put it through. Number 5, eat according to your goals. Tailor your diet to align with your fitness objectives, whether it's weight loss, muscle gain, or performance. And I agree, you'll have to eat differently, depending on what your goal is. You can't get Sally's meal plan or Bob's meal plan and just copy that and think it's going to work for you.
I mean, I'm at this point where we are in our current world, so to speak, especially after COVID, everybody locked up. I mean, just about everybody, they're going to want to lose some fat. And along with that, they're going to want to build a little bit of muscle, because obviously they want to look fit and feel fit. So the recomp, I mean, that's something that, I'm totally specialized in the recomp. And so what I try to explain to people is let's stop creating these call it routines. Let's diet. Let's stop creating these plans, these, that are short term. because let's not try to race to the finish line and then, or I call it hold your breath plan. You're going to hold your breath. You're going to get where you want to go. Then when you first time you breathe again, you go right back where you started. So I'm a big connoisseur. Look, I'm going to create a system for you. It's going to be training. It's going to be nutrition. It's going to be habits. It's going to be mental programming. And it's something that's going to recomp. You're going to drop body fat. You're going to gain muscle. The progress will be very, very clear, and it'll be very, very steady. So the idea, the way I teach it, the way I preach it, is let's create a plan that gives you the results you're looking for, a nice, steady pace, very, very happy, steady pace that you can maintain for the big picture, because this is a life thing. It's not a get in shape for the pool thing. And when people change that, when they basically flip that mindset around, they realize, you know what? I need to change the way that I live my life. And when I live my life, I'm talking about sleep. I'm talking about the way they eat, the way they think about food. Are they pleasure or purpose people? And so it comes down to is you just need to reconstruct how you go about it, and everything happens pretty much automatically. And that's me. I mean, shit, I'm 52 years old, and my standard is I'm going to have abs all the time. And that's the standard of how I go about it, because I live in a way that where I'm constantly staying in good condition, and I enjoy my food. I enjoy everything. So it's not like I'm missing out. I've just created a system, and I help others do the same thing, where it's very maintainable and it's very sustainable.
Absolutely. Number 6, learn how to cook. Take control of your nutrition by mastering the art of cooking. I know you said you do Instacart Instacart. So I don't know. I'm pretty sure you still cook, or Terry cooks. I know I'm always in the kitchen. Chef, call me Chef C. Marty, because I stay cooking. So how important is it to know how to cook?
Yeah, I mean, there's a skill to cooking, so to speak. I can cook, but the shit that I make isn't going to taste very good. That's just because I don't practice cooking that much. I can get the job done, and I can fulfill the order.
Well, that's
so
good
to
enough,
speak.
though. That's good enough.
And so here's the thing: once you get that down, then you actually can start working on making the shit taste really good. Like Terry, she's a great cook, so I'm really, really lucky to have her, because she cooks food and it tastes freaking amazing. But again, that's something that she practices all the time. So when you practice cooking, it's going to get easier, more efficient, and the flavors you like are going to be coming basically more prevalent in your food, because you're going to start putting them in there because this is the shit you like.
Absolutely. Invest in equipment. It says here, proper training shoes, weightlifting belt, and those are the two that they mentioned. I do agree with investing in equipment. Now I'm indifferent on the weightlifting belt and the training shoes, but let's talk about it. How do you feel about the weightlifting belt? And I'm assuming training shoes, they talking about flat shoes for leg day, things of that nature. Depending on what your goals are. How do you feel about that?
Well, I think that's those things are very, very viable in the big picture. But I don't think that so many people, I need a belt, I need better shoes, I can't go to the gym today. Bullshit.
Yep.
You could get to the gym. I mean, everybody's got some kind of a sneaker, for God's sake. Put whatever sneaker you got on there and get and moving.
Thank you.
Do you need a weightlifting belt? Not if you learn how to do the shit properly. And if you want to learn to go real heavy, okay, you might need the belt.
Yep.
It's kind of like, I always make the joke, people will, when they're starting a business, they're going to do all this shit that, they're hiring a lawyer. You don't even have a lawsuit to defend yet. What the hell did you give that guy to retainer for? What is wrong with you? Get your butt in there and do the shit you don't want to do to get the momentum going.
Absolutely. And that's how I am, man. Just get in the gym, wear
in there.
Basketball shoes, running shoes, flat shoes,
get in
chucks. It doesn't matter. Just get in the gym.
If you got a place that's set up at home like I do, hell, wear nothing. If you
do barefoot. Exactly.
No. Take your drawers off if that's what it takes to get a workout.
I didn't say all of that. All right. This is the gym segment. This is not the loop. All right. We're going to keep it clean. All right. Number 8, master your technique. Technique mastery ensures targeted muscle engagement and facilitates steady progress. So I'm guessing form and just doing things correctly. I'm sure you agree with that.
100%. And I think that that's something it's knowledge is power. But again, don't let that be the reason that you're not starting. You know, if you don't know, if there's an exercise that you don't understand, find something else to do. You know, don't go in the gym for the first time and load up a deadlift or a squat bar. You know,
because you saw it on Instagram.
Yeah, exactly. Whatever, because somebody told you to do it. Go in there, work on the machines. Just get in there and do something and do it safe and get the ball rolling. And as you spend time doing it, you're going to learn a lot. And I would highly recommend some of those movements is get someone who knows what they're doing to have it break down for your personal biomechanics. Because like if Marty and I were both squatting properly, according to what worked for us, and you were watching, you would see the differences because we're two different people.
Absolutely. Number 9, never lie to yourself. Be honest about your technique, progress, goals, and be honest about what you're eating. Be honest about your nutrition and what you're putting in your body, because I don't know about you, John, but I've had clients that will convince themselves that they are 100% following the meal plan. And it's like, no, you're not.
Yeah.
So
and the simple answer to that is, okay, I need you to write every time you put something in your mouth, I need you to write down what it was. You know,
Well, I
don't give a damn what it was. It could be a lollipop, it could be a cigarette, it could be anything. If something went past those lips, I want to know what it was.
And I tell them, well, just send me a picture of it. You know, let's keep a log in the text thread on this iCloud. You know, and let's look back at what you had to eat. So that's true.
Most people will end up, they'll grab things and eat it and not even have a clue how often or how much they did that.
Of course. And then last one, go all in. Make fitness an integral part of your lifestyle, not just a sporadic activity. It can't be, well, I feel like working out today. I think I'm going to go to workout before brunch with the girls. Like that's not, it's got to be part of your lifestyle. It's got to be a habit. It's got to be part of your system. It has to be part of your routine. Everything we talked about today.
It comes down to this, you, excuse me, you put this stuff in your life, you start to see the benefit, you continue to do it. And really what happens is, first you develop, a habit, then that habit becomes a lifestyle, then that lifestyle becomes a state of mind. Now you're not a guy who works out. You working out as a part of your life. And once it actually gets once it gets to that point, it's just like you're a parent, you got a kid, you're a parent. Well, I work out. It becomes a part of who you are. It's a part of your standard, and that's what you do.
Agreed.
There we go, boys. In the gym with John and Marty. Good segment, guys. I was quite intrigued by those principles of fitness there. And anything that you vehemently disagreed about there, Marty, Johnny?
That equipment part, I wasn't. I'm not big on belts or what kind of shoes you have on. Yeah. Just get the work in.
Just got to get in there, Johnny.
Yeah, I think that when it comes down to for the general public, what they really have to understand is that need to develop the habit of showing up.
Yes.
And once the habit of showing up is there, then you can start building on top of that. But most people are not developing the habit of showing up. And showing up can be, I've actually had clients where we build that habit. Okay, you get yourself dressed, ready to go, drive to the gym, get out of your car, look at the front door, get back in the car, go home. You don't get to work out yet. We just need to make the habit of showing up in place. Once you're doing this and you're finally ready to, and you realize how ridiculous this whole drill is, then I'll let you go in.
No kidding. There you go. In the gym with John and Marty. The segment drops 9:15 Eastern time every single day here. Johnny's going to take a little break. We're going to bring Kristina up on stage here. And we're going to wrap the show up here. We're going to get to the community corner here. Johnny, you go for your break, brother. Come back here and we'll say goodbye here in a few moments. I like this tune. But guys, I got a surprise for you guys. Oh, yeah, I got a surprise. Yeah, I'm going to do something. I've only done it once.
I hate when you do this.
And I'm a rapper. Yep. All right.
That's not the surprise.
Don't ever do that again.
All
or
right.
I will leave the show.
So, I got a little surprise. We were talking systems this morning, and we had somebody join the show, and I'm like, hey. Yep. All right. I got the magic cord coming out here. What?
Stop. For the love of God, stop.
Hello?
I'm sorry. Oh,
Keith, what's up, man?
Richie Rich! Hey, buddy, what's going on?
what's up, Rich?
We have Rich Ingram joining the show here this morning. And look, I'm going to do something fun here this morning. Jimmy, I have not prepared you for this, but I'm going to do this. So we're going to pretend this is like old school, like TV. So we have Rich Ingram, our awesome co-host on Wednesdays, the Endurance King, joining here the show this morning. He had an awesome question about traveling and so forth. Richie, did you pay attention to the show today, brother? How are you, pal?
Oh, I'm great, guys. Yeah, I got it's grandparents' day at the school, so I hopped on a little late once I dropped the Grammys off. Yeah, man, I loved hearing Doc talk about systems and habits, and of course the guys giving their tips, because I always struggle with that, man. You know, I have a pretty good system here at the house, and whenever I go travel, you know, getting back into the same routines, like things aren't in the same place in a hotel room. Like my coffee pot, it's like I could be a zombie and walk to my coffee pot. You know what I mean? Like I just know where it is. So it always trips me up. So I like hearing other people's intake.
That's awesome, Johnny. We got our awesome co-host Rich Ingram on the show here this morning.
I heard it, man. I was like, shit, I love it. What's going down, brother?
Yeah, it's Granny's Day here, so he's like, I got rid of the kids and I can go hang out with the team here this morning. So, Rich, did you get a run in this morning, brother? Or what do you got on the physical fitness agenda today, Rich Ingram?
Yeah, man, I got my hour run in 5:15 this morning, and I'm about to hit the gym. I like to get about 4 to 6 hours in between my runs and strength.
Yes,
but look, man, sometimes that just doesn't happen. I got to pick the Grammys up at 11 for early dismissal, so I'm gonna go get it in and grab them.
That's awesome. Marty, Tina, anything for Richie before we say goodbye? Listen, I've only done this once, Rich. We called Kristina once on the show here. We did a little test because, you know, we got this old school radio show here that just streams across the world here. And I was like, hey, we got to keep phoning people. We can do prank phone calls. We can do fun phone calls. And we called Kristina once and she's like, what the fuck's going on here?
Yeah, you scared her too.
We did scare her, Marty, yeah, because she's a millennial going, nobody phones me. So then I was like, hey, I texted Rich a few moments ago while you guys were on the segment. I was like, Rich, you got a few moments to join the show? I was like, yeah, brother, I do. So we thought we'd bring him in and have some fun and test it out. But Kristina, it's working.
Yeah, but you gave him a heads up. You texted him and said, I'm going to bring you on. Rich, if somebody calls you, I know that you're a millennial.
I can't
Someone
hear
calls
her.
you, what's the first thing you think?
Oh, interesting. So Kristina, he can't hear you. So Marty, hold on, Marty and John, can you guys talk? Because I want to see if
I said what's up, Rich, but he didn't respond. So I'm assuming he can't hear me either.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, he can only hear you. So Kristina, what Keith was saying was he thought that Rich could hear us when he can't. You couldn't hear us either. So what he said, it's working. He was just saying that the technology is up to speed, but clearly it's not.
So I'm going to try this. I'm going to unmute the horizontal. Rich, talk again now, brother. Let's just try this out here. Bad radio. Rich, say hi to the team.
Hey, I miss you guys.
Can you guys hear Richie?
I miss you.
I can hear him. The question is, can he hear all of us?
Yeah, that's the issue.
Richie, can you hear us? No, eh?
No, I can't hear him, man.
Interesting.
You tell the tech guys it's 2024. We gotta get it.
All right. So Keith Bilous, the tech guys, got us sorted out. Richie, I'm going to let you go, brother, because we're doing this live, and I wanted to bring you in to see how this is working. And I appreciate you, man. You go enjoy your lift.
Thanks for getting me on, man.
You go enjoy your lift. I'll shoot you a note later. Okay, brother?
All right, brother.
All right, Brad. Take care. All right. There goes Rich Ingram joining us here mornings in the lab. Our awesome co-host here who joins the show here every Wednesday. The dude is a fucking warrior, man. If you don't know who Rich Ingram is, I invite you to check him out on Instagram, LinkedIn. The guy has a story. And as I've said before, if you're not inspired by Rich Ingram, you don't have a pulse. It's literally as simple as that. So come join the show every Wednesday. Rich joins the show here. And guys, I'm going to figure this out so we can make phone calls, make prank phone calls, and maybe we'll call So Young Park. And you know what? So Young's family has a big dry cleaning business down there in Massachusetts. Like we all could send a bunch of dry cleaning stuff to So Young and call her and just give her grief and order pizzas to the place and prank call the fuck out of her.
You're talking about fucking up someone's livelihood right now? Is that what you're saying?
Just talking about having some fun. Just having some fun with So Young. So anyways, all right. Okay, listen, guys. I know we got to get out of here. We got 3 minutes left to go here. Yes. So Young's like, yes, pizza. Okay, so we're going to do the creative spotlight right now. We're going to celebrate somebody so we can all get on with our day so we can continue continue with our systems. And hey, by the way, guys, next week the show is going to 2 hours. We're going to continue the community corner right now, and then in about 4 minutes from now, Keith and Tina are going to jump on stage and talk business and branding next week on the show here. So, okay, so Jimmy, we are going to do Creator Spotlight right this second here. I'm pulling up our human. That is right there. Boot, boot. Yeah, I'm not going to do the do, Kristina, because I know that annoys you. So,
boot is better. Yeah, good.
Yeah, exactly. So, today's Creator Spotlight. Kristina, you want to help me out with this one here? So, today's Creator Spotlight. Go ahead.
Is Kyle?
Hold on. All right, so Kristina, do the introduction, and I'll throw it on her screen for us. Kristina Flynn, who are we celebrating for today's Creator Spotlight?
We are celebrating somebody who is the founder of Up Employment Accelerator. He helps startup job seekers land career accelerating roles using proven methods. He was one of the early employees. I think he was number 200 at Uber, and obviously gained really significant experience in that experience, as well as just the startup world at large. Built a system that's helped clients achieve $1 million+ in total compensation increases, which is massive. And his program helps job seekers to 10x their job hunt efficiency to create more warm connections. So, drum roll, please, Marty, if you can. Today's Creator Spotlight is Kyle Thomas.
There's Kyle Thomas. Kyle, hold on a second here. Why am I all confused here this morning, Tina? Keep talking, Tina. Keep going.
I don't know. Here's why we're highlighting Kyle. And we like to do this. We like to acknowledge somebody in the LinkedIn world, a creator, somebody with a full-time job that's still building their brand online. We like to acknowledge them and say they're doing really great shit, and you need to check this person out. So what I love about Kyle is this. We talk about it all the time. He's got this really unique experience. One of the top 200 first employees at Uber. Massive, right? So he knows exactly what it takes to build a startup from the ground up. And he knows what it's like in the realities of working in startup tech culture. What he's done is say, I know that there's big opportunity for people getting in early at tech and being part of, seed, Series A, Series B teams, because there's big opportunity on the back end. If you can get a company that's going to be a unicorn, you can really financially benefit from it. And he's saying, I want to get more people into that and helping them to do it. He has a really actionable and really simple and easy approach that he helps take people through. And I think for me, it's not only in the getting a job, it's in the how do you advocate for more compensation for yourself, which we know we all have a hard time doing. How do you advocate for yourself? What are the things you need to know? He posts things about what are the top companies that have just raised Series A or Series B. You know then that they have an influx in cash. So those are the people that are likely going to be hiring. So because he knows that life cycle, he's able to direct you in places where if you want to get into this world, he's a great person to help you to do that. He's had massive growth over the last year. Kyle and I started in a program, I think it was just over a year ago, maybe a little bit more, and he had very few followers. He doubled down on what he's trying to do. He put a lot of work and focus, and I'm going to guess systems into it. So if you're looking for a job, if you're looking to increase more advocacy for yourself in terms of compensation, he's got a gnarly mustache there. I can't advocate for that, but he is a lot of fun. And he's a great person to follow. And if you're building your own brand, he's got a really great model for you to use to be able to see how someone's doing it and how they've got a really good success model based on that.
Kyle Thomas. We are excited to celebrate you here today on the Mornings in the Lab Creator Spotlight. Kristina, thanks for shining light on Kyle today. Kyle, we want to have you here in the lab. Come join us for a show. Come sit down. Introduce yourself through center stage, come have a big topic through deep dive, and come and step on stage and celebrate somebody else for today's, for a future Mornings in the Lab Creator Spotlight. All right, team. we are wrapping up today's show. Holy smokes, what a good show here today. Another big conversation, another big bunch of, a good show on systems today. Needless to say, we know that success doesn't happen by accident. We know that it doesn't happen by accident, Tina. You got to embrace boring. You got to embrace the monotony, because monotony and boring creates success. And that's what we learned today on the show with Dr. Monica. But let's go around the table. What did you take from today's show, Kristina, before we go to Jon and Marty to wrap up today's conversation? Kristina Flynn.
It's that as much as I fight it with everything inside of me, I am slowly learning that, embrace the boring allows you to free up mental capacity and stress, quite frankly, that allows you to focus on the things that are not so boring in your life, whether that is Terry time, Jon, whether that is getting more time with the kids, whatever it is you choose to do, you don't have to be spending the time cognitively on the boring, monotonous tasks. They take care of themselves. You get them done, and you free up a lot of other mental space for a lot of other fun.
Well, I think that just to kind of bounce off of what Kristina's saying, I think that one of the things that people need to understand is that, when you have these tasks that are considered boring, if you look at these tasks differently, you attack them differently, and you find the joy in finishing them, then you kind of start to have a new association with these tasks, and you don't look at them as boring. You look at them as part of your progression for the daily loop.
Yes.
And so just keep that in mind, everyone. If you've got a whole bunch of things that you've tagged as boring, maybe you need to look at it a little differently. Finish hard, finish strong, change the association, and you got to get almost like rebuild your position and how you look at your daily loop.
Yes. Marty.
Turn your weaknesses into strengths. So she talked about she didn't like school. So Monica talked about she didn't like school, and she said, hey, I'm interested in computers. I'm interested in some of this tech stuff. So she leaned into that, was able to leave high school early and get, a head start on her career, get her master's early. So that was super impressive to me. Like I said, I want to have her back on the show because I got more questions for her, but I thought that was probably the dopest part of the show, in my opinion.
Awesome. Thank you, Marty. Thank you, Johnny. Thank you, Kristina. Great conversation. And Dr. Monica, thanks for joining the show today. What I took out of the conversation today was we talked about the second morning loop. Gentlemen, you want your wife to live longer? Go have sex with her. Yeah, true story. Go put a system in your life. Go love your wife, because we know that if we have sex with our wife more often than not, she's going to live longer. That's what the stats show. Put a system in place. Live longer. That's what we teach you here. Mornings in the lab, 8 o'clock Eastern time, Monday to Friday. Guys, we'll see you on Monday. Back for another week, 8 o'clock here on YouTube, X, LinkedIn, the only morning show to help you guys get your day started. And we end the show just the same way we start the show, and it sounds just like this. Marty, Jon, Tina, have a great one. We'll see you guys later. Richie, we'll see you later, brother. Have a good one, guys.